Hello and welcome to the STAR Mini Workshop. I am Heather Cameron and this is Tracy Sundu, and we are the creators of the Scrapbooking Fun Summit, Scrapbooking Fun Circle, and this workshop. And we're so excited that you're joining us. And if you're coming to the workshop from the Try It Out bundle that was hosted by Kat Griffin, thank you and welcome. This is something so fun to try out, and guess what? I'm trying it out with you. So Tracy is the scrapbooker card maker here, and I am the organizer of a lot of events, a crafter by heart, but I have not done a lot of these mini album creations. So I'm going to be crafting along with you. I've been shopping, which is what we're doing here. We want to give you, you're going to get a paper copy of the mini guide, but we actually wanted to show you because it's a lot easier when you see this stuff than when you do it. So first off, Tracy's going to give you a sneak peek of the album that you're actually going to make.
I guess I should have done this properly and tied it up, but I didn't. So pretend I'm untying the bow, and here it is. So it's a lovely little gift or an album that you can give as a gift, use for yourself, and you open it up. Of course, you've got page per page, and then when you open it all the way, as you turn it this way, it's like a little star album.
Right.
Okay?
And you can make it into a storybook, you can put pictures in it, you can make it a journal. It's whatever you want. So
Yep.
we're going to teach you the foundations of it, and then you can add in your pictures, or you can add in journal prompts, or you can add in a storybook,
Recipes,
recipes. There's so many things. Actually,
anything.
that's kind of a cool gift where it could be how many sides you have. Don't ask me to quote how many sides are in a star. Your favorite recipes. So there's all these really cool things you can do with a Star Mini album. But if you're like me and you don't have any of this stuff, you got to go shopping. So this is our shopping guide. You can get everything you need for the most part. There's some exceptions from your discount store or your dollar store. So Tracy and I went shopping the other day to outfit me, and I got carried away a little bit. So I spent and bought a little more than I needed, but you can buy it. The essentials of what I'll need for the album under $15 Canadian, which probably means under 10 in the US, maybe different where
Hmm.
you live. And so we want to show you some of the basic things you do it. So you're going to need some paper, you're going to need some adhesive, some things that make it bling called embellishments if you're not familiar with the term, and
Little bit
some
of
tools.
ribbon.
Tools.
Little bit of ribbon and
A
a
little bit of
couple
ribbon
tools,
and a couple
very
of tools.
basic ones that you have.
So we're going to start with
Hmm.
the paper. So you need two types of paper. Tracy, give us a little bit about the paper. I will show and you will explain.
Okay, so you want a solid cardstock if you can. If you want all pattern, it's not a problem. The solid cardstock, sorry. Okay. We need we said what, 3 sheets of those?
You need 3 sheets.
Okay. And they're 12, we're talking imperial sizes, 12 by 12 inches. Metric is around 30 by 30 centimeters. Okay. So we need three of those. Same color, different colors, that's up to you. Do you want all the pages to be the same? Okay, see, this is where I use the black, or do you want them to be different colors? That is up to you.
And also the weight
Okay.
of it is really important. So the weight that you buy your paper, you don't want construction or printer paper because it won't start like what Tracy was showing you, it won't stand up. So you want to buy a heavy weighted paper. And actually I have two different ones. This one's slightly lighter than this one, but they're still heavy enough. And these are what?
Yeah. I say around 80 pounds.
Or more.
Okay. And it's awkward when it's, I know again, when we go back to the metric system, because in paper it's really different, believe it or not. But cardstock is the most important word. Okay. Not cardboard, not,
Not
but
construction paper,
cards.
but cardstock.
Yeah. Yes. Trust
And
me, if ever, you can't find something like this at a, dollar store, your small stores, if you ask anybody at a craft store, they know what you're talking about. Okay? It's
this
not a
is,
problem at all.
yeah,
Don't be shy to ask.
yeah, these are the only things we could not
Mm.
find in our local dollar store. So I shopped the store of Tracy. So Tracy, for those who don't know, runs a scrapbooking store in a virtual sign kind of a drop-in craft store. And so Tracy is where I got them, but you can get them at Michael's. You can get them at like your local craft store. You're better off going there than ordering on that big A place because you can get individual sheets, which are not as easy to get online in any places. So you're better going to the store if you physically can because you're going to be able to buy individual sheets. And so these are the solid colors, and then print. You can also buy individual sheets, or especially in your dollar store or discount store, you can buy a pad. So this was a pad, in Canada, and our prices are always going to be a bit more expensive. We have a store called Dollarama. You have Dollar Tree. We went to Dollar Tree. They didn't have a lot there today, but sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Um, but this was $4.50 in Canada. It's got 20 pages in there. We only need four, right? And so there's two of each. So they're really pretty pages. So this is an example. They are single-sided. That's all we need. We don't need double-sided. And this is an example of, some pretty paper that I picked up for very little. We'll go through some, there's all different stuff I can play with and do with it.
Also, see, Heather, we wound up choosing the pattern paper first, which is a great way to do it
Yeah.
because then she knew exactly what color cardstock she wanted or she could match them up, right? If ever you've got the cardstock at a store and you're like, I don't know my pattern paper, stick with the basics. Go white, go black,
Right.
because they really will match with any other color of or any patterns that you choose,
Yeah.
right?
And
So,
this is just happens to be both Tracy and my colors palette that we would tend to choose, but there were other ones there. And so this is a great way to get started and do it. And it's already 12 by 12. And as I mentioned, this one is 180 GSMs. It doesn't actually have the other one. It's smaller. And this doesn't need to be as heavy as the start stop. This is not what you're standing on. So you can get this at
yes.
the dollar store. And that's all you need in paper. You need,
Also, it does not matter if it's a double-sided or pattern paper or if it's a one-sided. It doesn't matter.
you
Okay.
don't need,
Choose what you like.
yeah. And so you can buy the
Okay.
individual sheets at your craft store, or you can,
Sorry, we're
dollar store sells it
gonna
great.
have a visitor.
We're getting catified. It happens all the time. You'll get used to it. So that's what you buy at the store. You have the paper that you need. The next thing is glues. So I'm going to take this one to Tracy because how you glue it together is the most important part. I will say you don't want to use this. This will not do it even
No.
if you have double-sided this.
No.
You don't want to use this type of tape. So I'm going to throw it over to Tracy. What do we want to use?
Yeah, so there's a ton of different adhesives out there. You just want something you know will be strong enough to hold it together because everything is on the outside of these pages, is the way I describe it. And it's easy where people can peel things off, not purposely necessarily, but it'll get caught on your top or, you know what I mean, your buttons and stuff like that. So you want it to stick together, especially if you're giving it away as a gift, right? So you do want a strong enough, this is a double-sided tape, all right.
Which
Sorry,
you
I've got no
can get at
nails,
the
but
dollar
they're
store.
very easy to use.
Yeah.
And then you peel off the other end. A good strong glue. All right. I have a Tombow, which again, it doesn't have to be a brand like this. I use this all the time, right? This is my domain. I have to have a good strong glue. But if you have something, we were in the dollar store, we found some good double-sided tapes. And then there was sometimes you know how dollar stores you find brand names. Like there was Aleene's, I think Aleene's, or I can't remember the brand name, but a glue stick there. And I went, oh, this could work, Heather, right? So you want something, a brand that you know or you've heard of. I watch the no-name brands for adhesive. That's all I'm going to say too.
Yeah, and something that, says like the one that Tracy's talking about, it actually says strong glue on it.
Yeah,
So you want the other thing you probably don't want to do unless you're really skilled is you don't want to use a glue gun because you're going to get like too much of a layer and it's going to cause a bump in your design. So stay away from glue guns. For those who are crafters who may have some of this stuff, a tape runner, which is like a tool that you do that, isn't strong enough.
yeah, they're great for certain products, but not for the outside of these albums like this,
Yeah.
okay?
So glues are important because, like Tracy said, I mean, I did one my very first time and it fell apart because the glue didn't stick. So glues are important. So look at them. That might be something, if you think you're going to take this up, you might go to a craft store and buy a little bottle of a more high quality glue than the dollar store because it is something you're going to use and we can always use glue for something. So that's one of those ones. You can look around and do that. So we have our paper and we have our glue that's going to stick it together. And then comes the really fun part of all of this stuff is embellishments. What are embellishments, Tracy? Give it kind of an overall, and then we'll show peeks.
Embellishments kind of adds flair, we'll say, to everything. And it helps pop up because you may be putting some photos in here. Like we won't necessarily use all your embellishments at that, by the time we've done the album, because you're gonna have your time afterwards where you're put in your papers, like your sorry, not your papers, your photos,
Or
maybe
your
your
story.
recipes or whatever you're using the album for. And so you want some of those embellishments to help pop up the colors, right? In your pictures, or the theme, right? If it's a wedding album or something, of course you're going to use, flowers of that wedding, right? The colors and things like that. I'm just, right? If it's an album, if it's a gift for Heather, I would use a lot of turquoise. Don't tell her,
Not
okay?
my only
But I
color.
would, because
Um,
I know that's her color.
and there can be flat embellishments, and I'm going to show you some that I bought because I got carried away. You do not need this much. So it's all that little, and many of our paper crafters will tell you it's very easy to get carried away. But if you want to use something that's flat that might go inside the album, this is a little package that I got that's already cut, die cuts, and it is full of like huge little things that you can glue on individual pages, and they're not going to add bulk. Right? So they're not stickers, so you can get stickers as well. These ones aren't stickers. And this one even has in the back, it actually has some common statements, so sayings, sentiments that you could put in as well. So this is a really great deal. This was like $1.50. And I could design many things with this. And it's
And
got cute themes and things like that. So that's a great find to do this with.
and in the pad that she's holding, those items are already pre-cut, so you're just kind of popping them out and then gluing them on.
Yeah, so
It's
super
nice and
easy. I can
easy.
just pop out, maybe not super easy.
That's
You
okay.
can you can pop them out. I had one out the other day, so I don't know which one it was, but you can just pop it out and glue it on. So that's great. The other thing that you can buy is you can go a little crazy on all these really fun things. So we have some cows if you're into cows. We have some dragons. So these ones are flat. These ones are a little raised. You can't really see, but they're a little raised. These ones are flat. So we have some dragonflies, some butterflies, which might be more for the outside pages because they are raised. Now, Tracy gave me a real hint about this one. Buy the white butterflies if you're not sure because you can color them. So if you've got colored pencils or you have markers, you can color your butterflies. I'm like, oh, didn't think of that. Or you do watercolors or whatever. I'm like, okay, so I bought the white butterflies. Um, these are more examples of the type of stuff you can get. What else do we have? We have little bears. And then more flowers. Whoops. And then you can buy fun things like this, right, Tracy? You can buy some gems. And the real trick, because Tracy loves this stuff, is you can take for your front, you could take something like this, and you could take, we're into the theme. I should have taken them out of the plastic. So you could do something like that
Okay.
for your front page, right?
Yeah,
So
showing her, yeah, what the like I love chipboard, as Heather knows, which
yeah,
those frames are made out of, or like a wood, a thin piece of wood. And you can decorate those, enhance your pictures or your embellishments.
you
It's a
could do it
lot of
like
fun.
that. Yeah. And Tracy doesn't love frogs, but there's a thing with Tracy and frogs. So
Yeah.
if I was going to make Tracy an album, I could do something like that. And I know Tracy has some more embellishment type things. Oh, I got gems too. So I have little gems that are multicolors that are teardrops. But
And pick the ones that could be, of course, match your papers and along with the theme of the album that you may be doing. If you're not sure what pictures you might be putting in or who this album is for, pick something that you know is pretty general.
this is good.
Exactly.
You know, they had
Exactly. Like
these
in,
in kind of color different. I mean, this is my color tone, but there were different ones. They had Christmas
hmm,
ones as well. But this is a great little book that you could do if you're not sure what you're going to do.
yes. Like I know I'm a I don't know, it's weird. I don't garden or anything for real, but I love flowers, right? So these are, and I bought flowers yesterday too,
You
because
did
I'm like,
too.
why not? Of course I always need more, right? And I'm one who, I mean, I could put a flower on anybody's pages. It could be a guy, it could be a cat. Doesn't matter, you know. You can, embellish it the way that you like. Um, so I have a cat now sitting on some of the embellishments I had, but so die cuts, as Heather was showing, there's she's got the pad. So I just grabbed a few from downstairs. It could be die cuts of anything. It could be sayings. See, I've got bird flowers. It can be I
You could
just
even
stuffed
cut it out
myself
of
here.
something you like. If you have a piece of
Exactly.
wrapping paper you like, you could, it's called fussy cutting, ladies, but you could
Yes,
fussy cut it out of something.
yes.
So you can use just regular home stuff. It's amazing. And washi tape.
Sorry, I'm just washi tape. Okay. You can use washi tape on your pages. Again,
I
just
will
a different way
caution you
to
on washi tape at the
decorate.
dollar store because it might stick long and it might not stick long.
Yep, you learned that over.
I learned that, yeah. Washi tape at the dollar store is not always the best buy of
It,
washi tape.
it's a
However, there is good.
decorative piece of material. It's not an adhesive.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but my washi
Yes.
tape fell off after 2 days, so
But
that's a
yes,
benefit.
sometimes you're right. You do have to I'll put my double-sided tape and then I'll put the washi tape on top of it sometimes
Yeah.
because
So
yeah,
there is
you're
good
right.
quality washi tape. You don't have to do that with like
Yeah.
Serenity Fair, who's one of our sponsors for our summit. She is great, but if what you have is what you have, and we really want you who came it from the Triad, or even the people from our list who may have never made, you've joined us and you've never made a mini album or whatever. So have fun with that. Ribbon.
We do need a bit of ribbon.
Mhm.
Okay. A bit of ribbon or a bit of sorry about my mess because I'm not a clean crafter, okay? But you can use twine as well. All right. This is to hold the album together.
Yeah.
So you want it, in a way that you go, yes, this is nice and thick enough or whatnot, solid. Seems like it'll hold something together for me. So it's
And that's
up to you.
basically, and really to get started, you need the paper, you need the glue, you need the twine, and you need only a little bit of embellishments. You don't need to have crazy embellishments, but it's hard to resist when they're only $1 here and $1 there. So go for that, and you have a little bit of embellishments. And
Make
then
Heather feel like she's not the only one who bought you
I know I'm
that.
not the only one. I hang out with paper
No.
crafters. I know I'm not the only one who buys this stuff. And if you are coming and you've never done any of this before, I know, like I've been hosting the Scrapbooking Fun Summit with Tracy for 3 years. This is our fourth year. Um, I have learned a lot through that in the language, but it's still not something I do naturally. So this is something we'll all be able to do, and you're gonna like, oh wow, I can give this as a gift. I can do it multiple times. So the final thing we need to share with you, so we don't make this a crazy long video, is the tools you need. So the basic tools, the two things they actually have to have.
Scissors. I didn't even bring a pair of scissors. Sorry to show you, but scissors, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay. Yep. And obviously, if you don't have a trimmer, obviously you need scissors and a ruler. Okay. If you have a 12-inch one, 30 centimeters, that is better than a 6-inch one, right? Because otherwise you're just going to be measuring in a different way. But yes, if ever you have a trimmer, not necessary, but the paper trimmer, that is great to have. Okay.
And you may have a trimmer not because you're a crafter. I have a trimmer for my business. You may have a trimmer for your kid's school. Um,
Yep.
so you don't need a special trimmer. This was, oops, I just lost my trimmer, part of my trimmer, but that's okay. Um, this was many years ago bought at Staples so that I could cut stuff. So you don't need a fancy crafting trimmer. You just need a trimmer.
Again, this is not something at all that everybody has to have. You are a paper crafter, and you have a scoreboard. Okay, that is just what we use to make the folds quick and easy, we'll say. But again, you
It's a
do not
lazy
have
way
to
of
have
making
it.
folds. It's a smart way of making folds.
Well, yeah, but you know what? I'm not going to say that because you wait. If I use it on when we do the video, I'll do the mistake. Okay?
But it is a smart way to do it. But yeah, and then you have
Yeah.
something called
This is a bone folder. All right. Again, not necessary. If you have it, it just makes your yeah, exactly. If you're good holding your scissors or you can use your ruler, it's to flatten out like when you do that fold. It helps you with that. But again, if you have it, bring it. Okay?
I did a whole album, a different type of album, and I used my
Yeah.
ruler. Like I use my
Yeah.
ruler edge, my harder edge to do it. So you can do it with that.
Hmm.
And that's it for tools. There's one
Yes.
other thing you need to bring, which is your sense of fun, your sense of adventure, your sense of it doesn't, any mistake is fine. Some water. It's
And
gonna
always have your drink in a thermos thing or whatever, just so you don't spill it.
you don't spill it, but it's really meant to be. It's an hour and a half. We will have time to finish the albums. One of the things we love to do in our workshops is to share what you do, right? So we give everybody an opportunity to share because you're all going to do different. The cool part about this, they're all going to look different. Unless you happen to find the
Yes.
exact same pad of paper as I do, they're going to look different and your embellishments are going to be different. And that's the cool part. So we always like to get people to share what they do. And
Mhm.
if you have any questions, just answer any of our emails. Tracy will answer, she's the expert when it comes to this. So if you have any questions, let us know. We're here for you. There is a huge crowd signed up for this, which is great. Now, often not everyone shows up or your life gets busy, so there will be a replay. So the replay will be available in the area that you have when you go in the sign up area for events. You'll go in there, the replay will be in there maybe a day after, might take a day or so to do it. And you'll have all that information and you have access to that. So if you do one and you want to come back and do another, you can do more because you'll have access to the videos that you can pause and work through it as well. Um,
Mhm.
and you might get carried away. You might like to make, you might after a certain amount, you might want to try a different type of album, which we'll be talking about this more, but in case you don't make it, we run a summit, Scrapbooking Fun Summit. Registration opens mid-May and the summit is June 3rd to June 7th. With a ton of tutorials and a ton of stuff about this. So for those who are new, if you get hooked, we have a lot of places to help you. Our summit basically for attending is free, and then we have a VIP package that you have the option to buy, which has a huge amount of resources in it to help you. And so that's coming up, and you'll see it in the emails that we send out. We also have a membership to do this. So we have a lot of ways, if this is something you get hooked to come and join us. But we're so glad to have you here. We're excited to do this. Like I said, if you have any questions, reach out. Did we cover everything? And this is coming in a guide. You're going to get a 4-page guide with how many pages it is. And there's pictures in there as well. So you can take your guide to the store and you can shop with that as well. Anything else?
I think that's perfect. Really.
Do it. So we're excited. It's May 2nd at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight, North American Eastern Daylight Time, by the way. And you've been given a Zoom link. Check your emails. The Zoom link might change if we have a lot of people coming. And so that's one of the things. Check your email. That might change. But we're excited to do it. We're excited to have fun doing this. Thanks so much for registering. Thanks so much for the people coming from the Try It bundle. You're going to have a lot of fun trying this, and people who've come who are already paper crafters who are in our community, thank you for joining us as well. And we will see you on May 2nd. Thanks.
Looking forward.